Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson claims he has an abundance of proposals to end the Brexit impasse, but Leo Varadkar says he hasn't seen any. The Taoiseach, meanwhile, says he's very frustrated at the lack of progress in the establishment of a technological university in Waterford. South East Mountain Rescue say conditions were good in the Cumra Mountains yesterday when a man fell and died. And in sport, Waterford FC host defending champions Dundalk in tonight's FAI Cup quarter-final. There are still significant gaps between the Irish and British positions on Brexit after Leo Varadkar's meeting with Boris Johnson this morning. In a joint statement, the two leaders said some common ground was established, while saying discussions are at an early stage. Mr Varadkar hosted Boris Johnson for more than an hour over breakfast at government buildings this morning. Before the meeting, Leo Varadkar said the backstop remains a crucial part of any deal.
I am ready to listen to any constructive ways in which we can achieve our agreed goals and resolve the current impasse. But what we cannot do and will not do, and I know you understand this, is agree to the replacement of a legal guarantee with a promise. Our businesses need long-term certainty, and the people of this island, north and south, need to know that their livelihoods, their security and their sense of identity will not be put at risk as a consequence of Brexit.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he believes a deal can be reached at next month's EU Council meeting.
Our governments have spent 3 years masticating this problem. And so I think it's time now to honour the achievements of our predecessors who tackled far worse problems by cracking this one ourselves. I won't say we can do it all today, but I do believe that a deal can be done by October the 18th.
Meanwhile, the Taoiseach says he's very frustrated at the lack of progress in the establishment of a technological university in Waterford. The application for the TU South East from WIT and IT Carlow has still not been submitted after a memorandum of understanding between both ITs was rejected by the unions in Carlow. Leo Varadkar says he's always wanted Waterford to be the first TU in the country and is just as frustrated as others about the delay.
We're very frustrated about it, quite frankly. You know, the big thing the government had to do was to pass the legislation to allow technological universities to be established. That's been done, but I didn't want the first one to be in Dublin because we already have 3 universities in Dublin. I wanted the first one to be here in the southeast where there is no university, so I'm frustrated about it. Everything's not under our control, but we are engaging with the unions with a view to answering some of their concerns so that we can go ahead and have TU South East established in 2020.
South East Mountain Rescue say conditions were good in the Cumra Mountains yesterday when a man fell and died. The man in his mid-40s was with relatives when he fell around 30 metres near Mahon Falls. He was removed to University Hospital Waterford by Rescue Helicopter 117. South East Mountain Rescue also attended the scene, but he died from his injuries. Liz Brown, who's PRO of South East Mountain Rescue, told Damien Tiernan on Daisha today that there were a lot of people in the mountains at the time.
As we were passing on the way to Mahon Falls, we were passing Kilclooney Woods and that car park was absolutely full. The Mahon Falls car park was absolutely full with people out enjoying, sort of an unexpected nice Sunday morning in September. So conditions were ideal really, and it can happen, just a loose stone or a slip, and it can end in tragedy.
She said the man was treated quickly at the scene.
We had somebody very close to the area. He was at the casualty site within 20 minutes of us receiving the call. And at that stage, the winchman from the Coast Guard was already on the ground. So treatment would have been received very quickly. But unfortunately, the injuries he sustained were just too severe and he passed away.
Meat Industry Ireland has pulled out of talks aimed at resolving the dispute between farmers and meat factories over beef prices. The body says it won't take part in the discussions while beef farmers continue to blockade 20 meat processing plants across the country. They've asked the Minister for Agriculture to use his best endeavours to have them lifted and allow talks to continue. Meanwhile, supermarkets in Waterford may be targeted by protesting farmers. They're part of the ongoing dispute over beef prices. The Beef Plan movement protested outside supermarket distribution centres in Dublin, Kildare and Cork yesterday. The group's South East chairman, Enda Fingleton, says they'll call off protests in Waterford this week, but only if retailers begin discussing price.
Well, if the retailers are to come out tomorrow and state their positions clearly, where they stand on it, all these retail protests can be put on hold or done away with altogether. Plain and simple, we're the best part of 9 months now asking for the retailers to make their positions clear on these three issues. And now is the time to finally make their positions clear.
WLR celebrates its birthday today. We're looking back at some of the stories over the last 30 years. The sit-in by workers at the Waterford Crystal Visitor Centre in Kilbarry ended on March 22nd. Workers voted to accept the terms of an agreement negotiated between Unite Trade Union, KPS and the receiver. Unite Regional Organiser Walter Collins said there was no resolution to the pensions issue and legal action could be taken against the government for failing to comply with pension protection legislation.
The sit-in will end now and we need to engage now with KPS, the receiver and the Fure Group to try and move this forward and try and get some kind of as many jobs as possible secured here in Waterford, and that's what our priority is now at the moment, as well as ensuring that we have no intentions of letting the government off the hook in relation to protection of pensions for our members. We've already taken legal advice on that and we're not ruling out taking any action against the government in relation to ensuring that the pensions of our members are protected.
This worker had started at Waterford Crystal in 1980. He said it was sad to see the sit-in end.
No, it's tough to see it when you're 16 and you don't know anything else, It's just the uncertainty that's worrying me, I just wish the government had stood in and just bought the brand that would have kept it in Waterford. That's all I wanted, you know what I mean? Whatever it would have cost them, I thought it wouldn't have been much. Because it's a great company, a great brand, and it'll be around forever. But unfortunately, it won't be here now,
In May 2009, former Waterford Crystal workers picketed the Tower Hotel in protest at delays to their redundancy payments. The Taoiseach Mary Coughlin was addressing a Chamber of Commerce conference, and as she arrived, she was stopped by a former worker.
Minister, are you going to do it for the people of Waterford Crystal? You're the very woman that went to America on the 14th of March. Excuse me, don't dare push me. On the 14th of March trying to generate work. There was an iconic company in this country called Waterford Crystal. And what did you do? You done nothing. You're going to talk to them. That's about all you do is talk. You do nothing.
And Taoiseach Leo Varadkar had this message for WLR on our 30th birthday today.
Yeah, I really want to congratulate WLR, all the staff down the years, on this extraordinary achievement of reaching your 30th birthday. The media business is not an easy one, and very few local radios have survived so long, and I think WLR provides really great services. I have family in Waterford and it's always on the background, and just congratulations really.
WLR Sport.
And a very good afternoon. I'm Gavin. Whelan. First to soccer, and Waterford FC welcome defending champions Dundalk to the RSC tonight for the FAI Cup quarter-final. The Blues have been on a decent run of form lately. They're unbeaten in their last 3 games, including a crucial Munster derby win over Cork City in the league last week. Waterford have been beaten 3 times by the high-flying Lily Whites this season, and Blues boss Alan Reynolds is well aware of the challenge they face this evening. He says they'll have to be on top form to overturn the champions.
Last year we beat them down here, which the place was hopping, so I'm looking for us to be at our very, very best and them to have a below par night, and hopefully it'll be a good night all round.
Alan is pleading for the Waterford supporters to get behind the team in tonight's home tie.
Yeah, look, we'll need that to have any chance to come down early and get behind to be the 12th man, and no matter what way it's going, just stick with us, and then we'll try and give everything we've got.
Kick-off at the Kilbarry venue is at 7:45. Matt Keane will have updates across the evening here on WLR. Mick McCarthy says he hopes the impressive Republic of Ireland under-21 stars continue to get game time with their clubs. The senior boss was speaking today ahead of tomorrow night's friendly with Bulgaria at the Aviva Stadium. McCarthy, though, wasn't convinced the remaining Euro 2020 qualifiers would suit first cap players.
I hope they get playing, certainly playing in their teams. And I hope they give me that dilemma, that problem that when they are playing. But I keep going back to it. I'm not sure that Georgia away, Switzerland away and Denmark at home are games for debutants. It's always the case, if I was to do that and they didn't play well, that question would be asked.
The final Irish travelling squad of 31 for the Rugby World Cup has been confirmed today. The squad is unchanged from that named last Monday, as all players have been declared fit to travel following Saturday's final warm-up win over Wales. Munster winger Keith Earls picked up a knock in that game but will be on the plane to Japan. Kilkenny have announced their senior camogie manager Anne Downey has stepped down from her role. It follows their 3-14 to 17 points defeat to Galway in yesterday's exciting All-Ireland final at Croke Park. Downey began her second stint in charge of the Cats in 2016, winning the All-Ireland and Manager of the Year that same year. The Castlecomer native announced her decision in the dressing room after yesterday's defeat and at the post-match banquet held last night. Finally, for now to news of racing, there's action today in Listowel. The first at the Kerry track is away at 2:20. That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin is at 2.